Yes, we're going to go through the light middleweight boxing history. So, just a little bit of history. So, again, if Sugar Ray Robinson had been around when his division was around, he wouldn't have to jump up from 147 pounds from the welter to 160, which he had to do to middleweight. So we'd have been amazing light middle. There was like champion Emil Griffiths, who made the same leap in the 60s at least managed to get a fingerhold on the first light middle world championship. The Australian Border Control, which existed mainly to facilitate the career of the great Hungarian Laszlo Papp, the only fighter to win 3 Olympics and turn pro later on. They approved a match in 1962 between Griffiths and Teddy Wright, and they built it as a world title. But 3 days later, the WBA, should I say, staged the first real championship at the new weight. Griffiths made 1 attempt at the WBC light middleweight title 13 years later, but was outpointed by Eckhard Dag. Division in which Americans preferred to call the junior middleweight division, took a long time to become accepted. The WBC did not create its own championship until 1975, with the first IBF champion being crowned 9 years later. So, a little bit of history. So we're going to start from the beginning with light middleweight title bouts in 1962. So we're going to go from here. So we're going to go to Denny Moore. Again, Denny Moore wins on points over 15 rounds against Joey Giambrana. That's October the 20th, 1962. Denny Moore of the US wins on points over Joey Giambra from US in Portland, Oregon. That was for the vacant title. So we got February the 19th, 1963. Denny Moore wins on points over 15 rounds against Stan Harrington from the US in Honolulu, Hawaii. Then April the 29th, 1963, Ralph Dupas wins on points against Denny Moore in New Orleans, Las Vegas. And then June 17th, 1963, Ralph Dupas wins on points over 15 rounds against Denny Moore in Baltimore. And September the 7th, 1963, Sandro Mazzinghi of Italy wins in the 9th round by KO against Ralph Dupas in Milan, Italy. And in December the 2nd, 1963, Sandro Mazzinghi wins in the 13th round. Referee stops the fight against Ralph Dupas in Sydney, Australia. And then December 11th, 1964, December the 2nd. Let's go back a little bit. So, where was I? Yes. June the 17th, 1963, Ralph Dupas wins on points over Denny Moore over 15 rounds in Baltimore. Then we've got September the 7th, 1963, Sandro Mazzinghi wins in the 9th round by KO against Ralph Dupas in Milan, Italy. Then December the 2nd, 1963, Sandro Mazzinghi wins in the 13th round against Ralph Dupas in Sydney, Australia. December the 2nd, 1963, Sandro Mazzinghi wins in the 13th round this time. So he's done it in the 9th round, then he's done it in the 13th round. Referee stops the fight this time instead of KO. In Sydney, Australia. So we got December 11th, 1964, Sandro Mazzinghi wins on points over 15 rounds against Futon Fortunato Manca from Italy, in Rome, Italy. Now, June the 18th, 1965, Nino Benvenucci of Italy wins on points over 6 rounds against Sandro Mazzinghi. That was in Milan, Italy. Then December the 17th, 1965, Nino Benvenucci wins on points over 15 rounds against Sandro Mazzinghi. So he wins a second time on points, first time by KO. And this time it was in Rome, Italy. His 15 rounds points win. And we got June the 25th, 1966. Kim Ki-soo from Korea wins on points over 15 rounds against Nino Benvenucci in Seoul, Korea. And then Kim Ki-soo from Korea. Again, we got December the 17th, 1966, Kim Ki-soo from Korea wins on points over 15 rounds against Stan Harrington in Seoul, Korea. Then October the 3rd, 1967, Kim Ki-soo wins on points over 15 rounds against Freddie Little from the US in Seoul, Korea. Then October the 3rd, 1967, Kim Ki-soo wins on points over 15 rounds against Freddie Little from the US in Seoul, Korea. Then May the 26th, 1968, Sandro Mazzinghi wins on points over 15 rounds against Kim Ki-soo in Milan, Italy. Then October the 25th, 1968, Sandro Mazzinghi has a no contest against Freddie Little over 9 rounds in Rome, Italy. Mazzinghi was unable to come out for the 9th round because he was badly cut. The referee ruled a no contest, so Mazzinghi refused a rematch and the WBA declared his title vacant in January 1969. So, March 17th, 1969, Freddie Little wins on points over 15 rounds against Stan Hayward from the US. And that was in Osaka, Japan. And then we got March the 20th, 1970. Freddie Little wins on points over 15 rounds against Gerhard Piaskawi from Germany, in Berlin, Germany. And then we got June the 9th, 1970. Carmelo Bossi from Italy wins on points over 15 rounds against Freddie Little in Monza, Italy. Then we've got April the 29th, 1971. Carmen Bossi drew over 15 rounds against Jose Hernandez from Spain in Madrid, Spain. That was in Madrid, Spain. And then we got October the 31st, 1971, Koichi Wajima from Japan. Koichi Wajima wins on points over 15 rounds against Carmelo Bossi in Tokyo, Japan. Then May the 7th, 1972, Koichi Wajima wins in the first round by KO against Demencio Tibera from Italy in Tokyo, Japan. Then October the 3rd, 1972, Koichi Wajima from Japan wins by KO in the third round against Matt Donovan from TR. I don't know where that is. Maybe Trinidad. Not too sure. That's in Tokyo, Japan. Yeah, and he also knocked out Domenico Tabira from Italy in the first round in Tokyo, Japan also. But then Matt Donovan in the third round. And then we've got January the 9th, 1973. Yeah, January the 9th, 1973. Koichi Iwajima draws over 15 rounds against Miguel de Oliveira from Brazil in Tokyo, Japan. And then April the 19th, 1973. April the 19th, 1973, Koichi Iwajima wins over 15 rounds on points against Ryo Sorimachi from Japan in Osaka, Japan. August the 14th, 1973, Koichi Iwajima wins in the 13th round. Referee stops the fight against Silvani Bertini from Italy in Sapporo, Japan. And then we got 5th of February, 1974. Koichi Iwajima wins over 15 rounds on points against Miguel de Oliveira from Brazil in Tokyo, Japan. Then we got June the 4th, 1974. Oscar Alvarado from the US wins by KO against Koichi Iwajima, bringing his title reign to the end in the 15th round by KO in Tokyo, Japan. Then we got October the 8th, 1974. October the 8th, 1974, Oscar Alvarado wins in the 7th round. Referee stops the fight against Ryo Sorimachi from Spain. 7th round, referee stops the fight in Tokyo, Japan. Then June the 21st, 1975, Koichi Iwajima wins on points over 15 rounds against Oscar Alvarado. And that's in Tokyo, Japan. The WBC withdrew its recognition from Iwajima and set up their own title. The WBC. So, May the 7th, 1975, Miguel de Oliveira wins on points over 15 rounds against Jose Duran from Spain in Monte Carlo, Monaco. That's for the vacant title. Then November the 13th, 1975, Alicia Obed from the Bahamas wins over 10 rounds by retirement over Miguel de Oliveira in Paris, France. And then we've got November 1975, Alicia Obed from Bahamas wins. Oh, so it's the same one again. It's all right, don't worry. So we got November the 13th, 1975. Alicia Obed from the Bahamas wins by retirement in the 10th round against Miguel de Oliveira. That was in Paris, France. And then we've got February 28th, 1976. Alicia Obed wins in the second round against Tony Gardner from the US by KO. And Nassau, Bahamas. Then April 25th, 1976, Alicia Obed wins on points over 15 rounds against C. Robinson. And that was in Abidjan. And then we've got June the 18th, 1976, Eckhard Darg from Germany wins in the 10th round by retirement against Alicia Obed in Berlin, Germany. Then September the 18th, 1976, Eckhard Darg wins on points over 15 rounds against ML Griffiths from the Virgin Islands. 15 rounds points over ML Griffiths in the Virgin Islands in Berlin, Germany. And then March the 15th, 1977, Eckhard Dag draws over 15 rounds against our own Maurice Hope. Over 15 rounds from England, Maurice Hope. That was in Berlin, Germany. August the 6th, 1977, Rocky Mattioli from Italy wins in the 5th round by KO against Eckhard Dag. That was in Berlin, Germany. Then March the 11th, 1978, Rocky Mattioli wins in the 7th round by KO against Elisha Obed. That was in Melbourne, Australia. And then we've got May the 14th, 1978, Rocky Mattioli wins in the 5th round by referee stopping the fight against Jose Duran from Spain and Pescara, Italy. And then we got March the 4th, 1979. Maurice Hope wins in the 8th round by retirement against Rocky Mattioli. That was in San Remo in Italy. Lovely job. So we're going to whiz up here a little bit. So, yeah. It's a Maurice Hope from England on so September the 25th. September the 25th, 1979, Maurice Hope wins in the 7th round against Mike Baker from the US by referee stopping the fight at Wembley, England. And then we've got June the 12th, 1980, Maurice Hope wins in the 11th round against Rocky Mattioli. I remember reading the reports on that as a kid. That was in Wembley, England. Then November the 28th, 1980, Maurice Hope wins in the 15 rounds on points against Carlos Herrera from Argentina at Wembley, England. And then May the 24th, 1981, Wilfredo Benitez from Puerto Rico wins in a lethal knockout over Maurice Hope in the 12th round. It was frightening, actually. That was in Las Vegas, Nevada. Again, a brutal knockout that was. Career-changing knockout. November the 14th, 1981, Wilfred Benitez, who was the youngest champion ever at 17. He won a world title at 17, youngest ever. On November the 14th, 1981, Carlos Benitez wins on points at over 15 rounds against Carlos Santos from Puerto Rico in Las Vegas. Then November the 14th. So we've already done that one. Then it's January the 30th, 1982. January the 30th, 1982. Wilfredo Benitez wins on points over Roberto Duran. That's a good win from Panama. Roberto Duran in Las Vegas. Then December the 3rd, 1982. Thomas Hearns wins on points over 15 rounds against Wilfred Benitez in New Orleans. Then February the 11th, 1984. Thomas Hearns wins on points over 12 rounds against Luigi Mincillo from Italy in Detroit, Michigan. Then June the 15th, 1984, Thomas Hearns wins by a brutal KO of Roberto Duran in the 2nd round in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now September the 18th, 1984, Thomas Hearns wins in 3 rounds. Referee stops the fight against Fred Hutchins from the US in Saginaw. Now June the 23rd, 1986, Thomas Hearns wins in the 8th round. Referee stops the fight against Mark Medal from the US in Las Vegas. Thomas Hearns moved out of the light middleweight division. And then we got December the 5th, 1986. Dwayne Thomas, I remember this fight. I did this on VHS, watched it quite a few times. Wins. Referee stops the fight in the 3rd round against John the Beast Mugabe from Uganda. Again, he claimed a thumb in the eye, but well, I don't know, but yeah, Dwayne Thomas from the Kronk won that one from the Kronk gym. Got a surprise win there. He was on him like a rash also, so who knows. That's the vacant title. And then we got July the 12th, 1987, Luke Aquino from Mexico wins on points over 12 rounds against Dwayne Thomas in Bordeaux, France. And then we've got October the 2nd, 1987, Giovanni Rossi from Italy wins over 12 rounds against Luke Aquino in Perugia, Italy. And then we got January the 3rd, 1988, Giovanni Rossi wins in the 7th round against Dwayne Thomas. That was in Genoa, Italy. July the 8th, 1988, Donald Curry wins in the 9th round by retirement against Giovanni Rossi in San Remo in Italy. Not going to be confused with San Reno in Texas. It's an M. Then we got February the 11th, 1989. Reen Jacot from France wins on points over Donald Curry over 12 rounds. Lovely. And that was at Grenoble, France. So we got March the 31st, 1990. Sorry, July the 9th, 1989 first. John the Beast Mugabe wins in the 1st round. Referee stops the fight against Reen Jacot in Paris, France. Again, Mugabe dropping down because he fought Hagler at middle, dropping down to these weights. March the 31st, 1980, Terry Norris wins by KO in the 1st round against John Mugabe in Tampa, Florida. Then March the 31st, 1990, Terry Norris, we've already done that one, we'll do it again. Terry Norris beats John Mugabe by KO, 1st round in Tampa, Florida. Then July the 13th, 1990, Terry Norris wins on points over Reen Jacot from France, in Paris, France. Yeah, so July the 13th, 1990, Terry Norris wins on points over Reen Jacot in Annecy, France. Yeah, so I'm going to go back over that one. Then again, February the 9th, 1991, Terry Norris wins on points over 12 rounds against an old Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he was 40 at the time, something like that, in New York. Yeah, quite a sad one, that. Then June the 1st, 1991, Terry Norris wins by 8-round KO of Donald Curry in Palm Springs. Then August the 16th, 1991, Terry Norris wins in the 1st round. Referee stops the fight against Brett Lally from the US in San Diego. December the 13th, 1991, Terry Norris wins on points over 12 rounds against George Castro, over 12 rounds from Argentina, where he was. That was in Paris, France. Then we got February 22nd, 1992. Terry Norris wins in the 9th round against Carl Daniels from the US in San Diego. Then we got May the 9th, 1992. Terry Norris wins in the 4th round